Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, Narcissistic MIL is going to destroy our relationship. MIL asked husband about baby and then forwarded the response to their entire family GC. MIL always getting involved. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Narcissistic MIL is going to destroy our relationship. My husband, 38M, and I, 31F, have been together for 8 years now and have a 2-year-old. His mother's always been overbearing, manipulating, and selfish from the beginning with a huge victim mentality, and 3 out of 4 of her children refuse to see or talk to her for more than a few times a year for the holidays and stuff because of her behavior. Examples of her behavior would be trying to manipulate every aspect of her adult children's lives, from the color of the car that they're purchasing. She was very mad her 40-year-old son was getting a black car because it gets dirty easy, to her 25-year-old son's girlfriend staying over at his place. She also liked to make snarky comments and pass them off like jokes, like when she heard me practicing the piano she was like, "That's horrible, do we really have to listen to this?" Then laughs and says, "Haha, you know I'm playing." We joke around a lot in this family, better get used to it. I'm a pretty non-confrontational person and have always tried to look past her behavior. But there was one incident where she was insanely rude to my mother, and ever since that I've been only cordial with her and try to avoid any personal communication that doesn't involve my husband. By the way, my husband is her favorite child and he's the only one that's been there for her while the others bailed. Since the birth of my son, my tolerance of her has gone down significantly. At first she acted like she wanted to be super helpful and watch him all the time, etc., which turned out to be fake, of course. My family doesn't live near us, so she is the only one that could help if we needed something. There were a couple of times she watched him for 1 or 2 hours at a time so I could work. I gave her exact instructions on how she should put him down for a nap, sleep sack, lights off, sound machine, on his back, etc., the safe stuff that you do for babies. She had a problem with each of those. She kept saying she put all of her babies on their tummies and they were fine, that the sound machine was bad for him, she didn't like the sleep sack and was going to use a loose blanket, Sid's risk, next time. After the second time I came home to get my son and asked how he did, and she says, "He didn't sleep at all and fussed a lot," and I was like, "That's unusual, sorry he wasn't good for you," and she admits that she left the overhead light on the whole time he was trying to sleep, which shines right into his face, because she doesn't agree that babies should sleep in darkness. I was angry but didn't say anything other than, "Oh, he likes the dark." She also made comments throughout the first few months of me being a new mother that I believe triggered my postpartum anxiety to the point that I wanted to die. If someone told me I looked good for just having a baby, she would chime in, "I was like that after every baby. I could fit into my size 4 jeans when I left the hospital," making me feel slightly inferior for not fitting into my old jeans yet. She would also tell my husband things like, "Is she making enough money to justify a babysitter while I worked? This is why I stayed home with my babies, and she's very lucky my husband didn't help with my babies," which made me feel like an inferior mother. She recently did some additional rude things that finally made my husband see the light and say that I was right about her all along. Anyways, the advice I need is that I want to cut her out of my life and not have contact unless it's a large family gathering. She can see her grandson whenever she wants, but I don't want her to watch him. And my husband thinks that if I tell her about how she hurts me, she will actually get better and things will go back to normal. I think she's manipulating him and he's delusional. I love my husband and don't want this to ruin our relationship. Does anyone have advice for what to do? Update: I told my husband that I am going to keep my distance and he can continue to see her as he pleases. He said, "No, you are going to have a relationship with her, this is not an option." I tried to explain that she is bad for me, but he keeps saying that she hasn't been all bad and has done good things for us too. Which is true, she has done nice things and helped pick my birthday gifts and wrap them and stuff, which honestly made me want to return them. He thinks I'm taking this way out of perspective and being dramatic. He said he will defend me and take my side, but we are to continue seeing her. He also absolutely refuses therapy. I'm disappointed. Is he too far gone? He's deluded. Go back to normal? Ask him what normal would look like for her. Does he mean her being rude with her jokes? Overbearing with her comments? That'd be a hard pass from me. She's shown you who she is, believe her. Normal is OP lying flatter while MIL walks all over her. Tell your husband you'll give her one chance, and you'll share how she makes you feel, and ask her to be respectful. Don't give her access to the baby alone, that's a safety thing, but make it clear to your husband that this is a one-time chance for her to prove you wrong. But she probably won't, she'll prove him wrong. Assuming she does show her ass, if your husband doesn't see it, you know you have a bigger problem than her. And if he does, it will be much easier for you to go LC/NC, and to set boundaries with the baby. But either way, you've been nice and she's made it clear that she's not going to be respectful, and he doesn't have the ability to say you didn't give her a chance. Do not speak with her about it. It's your husband's job to deal with his mother. Please never leave your baby alone if you can. Set up boundaries and let your husband deal with her, you need a mental break. You have a husband problem. Major. What the actual hell? How is going to make you have a relationship with MIL? It's not an option. What? This was not a question. I'm so sorry, this is abuse. My next question is, are you safe? Will he physically harm you? He is worse than your MIL. His job is to protect you. Do you have family or friends you can go to for help? Make a plan to go somewhere else today of the event. Don't go. Forcing you to go somewhere against your will is kidnapping. Call the police and talk to a lawyer. I think if you guys are strong enough, you can survive anything. It's good that he's starting to see his mom for how she is. To keep on that track, tell him that you're bailing on the relationship with MIL the very first time she messes up. This is if you choose to tell her how hurtful she is and she refuses to do different. Make sure he knows that this is the very last second chance. Full stop. So, if he can't handle that, he should let you do things your way and he can still have whatever relationship he wants with mommy. Tell him things that you absolutely will not tolerate, and if she behaves in any of those ways, you're off the hook with his mom. Sometimes, it really takes them, so, knowing what to look for, and why it's bad, to notice how their moms treat their they grew up with her behavior and simply don't realize how harmful certain behaviors are till we point things out to them. Best wishes. You are entirely correct. She's 100% manipulating him and he's 100% delusional. My MIL and I have near the same problem. Through couples counseling, we were able to get him to realize the manipulative behaviors and patterns and her toxic behaviors towards me. The biggest thing we had to get through was that SHE will never respect you or anything you say until he forces her to. He has to draw the lines, hold her accountable for her actions and disrespectful behaviors, because she only respects him as he is her baby, not you. If you tried to say anything, she would immediately become either aggressive or victimized. You will be the bad guy either way, and anything you say will be wrong. Couples counseling saved our relationship, because it was to the point that he stood up to her or I left, and he had no idea that things were that bad, so if your partner is receptive to this, I'd highly recommend it. Also, that is your baby, not hers. She does things the way you, as the baby's mother says, or she does not get access. Period. She is not entitled to access to your baby, and you do not have to give it to her. My MIL is like that. Just explain to your husband that 8 years of abuse is more than enough, and you do not want the drama that will come from having such a conversation with her. Just cut your contact with her and let her son deal with her. When he comes around with her suggestions/opinions, just comment that the decision belongs to the two of you, husband and wife. It will be your money on the line, your life, and the consequences. It is easy for her to give unsolicited opinions when she has nothing to lose. Keep this last sentence to yourself. What I do with my MIL is the moment there is a hurtful comment, I just stand up, smile, thank her for having us around, tell her I am very tired and we need to go. It does help that I have a chronic illness. Usually this happens 2 hours into the visit, and I keep it to 1 visit a year. Her son is welcome to go when he wants, even for weekends, when he arrives with her ideas, and I just remind him that the decision is ours, using our money, and if it does not go well, we are the ones living with it. Be careful, just because she starts being civilized does not mean that she changed, it just means she is manipulating again and will revert back to her previous self as soon as she feels it is safe to do so. Hope this helps. Mil is clearly in a competition with you, in her head, that is. She needs to convince the world that whatever you do, she can do / has done better, and all of that is because she's jealous of you. Typical just no mindset. Obviously, she isn't a person to feel safe / loved around, and I can see why you would want to cut contact unless absolutely necessary. The good thing is that your husband is on your team. As a side note, I really am curious what made him see her for who she really is. I completely disagree with your husband though, on his naive thinking that if you talk to her she will improve. Not a fat chance. He clearly doesn't know his mom, like most sons of nasty mills. The way we behave is how we want to behave, and when we are being nasty to someone it's because we are nasty in the first place. You never gave that woman reason to dislike you. It was her choice to mistreat you, and that's what she will keep on doing unless she is faced with boundaries and consequences. And then she will fake everything because she will know her true self will not be tolerated. It's not your job to invest time / energy to convince an adult to behave like a decent human if they can't figure it out themselves, and even if you did, it would certainly backfire. Trying to confront a person like your Mil is a challenge because she will twist everything around, gaslight, play the victim card, and in the end you will be the bad guy for making a poor woman with good intentions cry. No, don't do that. Actually, you don't have to explain anything to her. You don't report to her, she has no business butting in your life, and you don't owe her an explanation. You just ghost her, ignore her, and let your husband deal with her because it's his problem at the end of the day. She texts, you ignore. She calls, you ignore. She calls your husband, he puts her in her place, OP is busy, if you need something text me. She wants to visit, husband shuts it down, you have plans / are unavailable, he can schedule a meeting at her place on day for him and her, and maybe LO if you feel like it. Gradually she will realize that your husband is shielding you from her and that he has your back, so she can't afford to mess things up, she better behave and leave you alone. Since when did you not exist as an adult able to make adult decisions? And clearly he just put his mom on a pedestal. WTF. Hard pass. I married the favorite son as well. We tried everything. But here's the truth. He's validating her bad behavior. If he would step in and correct her in front of you, then maybe otherwise. No. Don't do it. We tried literally everything, it's not worth it. From petty comments and so forth. Count those times and years up, and ask him if he thinks that you should continue taking harassment if it were anyone else. I have become more confrontational, due to my own MIL's antics. Now she gets no contact. Set boundaries, make them harshly known. If she does it, say, well, you know why you were banned, those behaviors do not stand here. Behaviors don't change overnight, nor does it go unnoticed, the kiddo is now watching. What if your child started acting the way she does? Bribing kids starts early, just saying. MIL asked husband about baby and then forwarded the response to their entire family GC. MIL asked my husband how my induction is going. Haven't told many people getting induced, her, FAL, BIL, my parents and sister, and that's it, because people always want to know why you're getting induced, and as far as I'm concerned that is my medical info and not up for discussion. Husband responded with an update to her, and she forwarded it immediately to the entire group chat with cousins, great uncles, grandparents, aunties, etc. I was fuming. None of them were told. For a reason. I told husband no more updates for her. If she asks, we reply with all okay, we will update with any further news when we can and she can just find out when the baby is born. Maybe I'm being over emotional, but I am one fed up 40+ week mama to be stuck on a hot hospital ward. Take his phone and turn it off. His job in the process is to support you. It is not to update his mommy with your private medical information. Once the baby arrives, MIL should be the very last person to hear about it. Ideally, she should hear the news from the checker at the grocery store. Wishing you a safe and healthy delivery. Just a heads up from someone with a MIL like this. If you care about social media and are wanting to do an announcement post, don't tell MIL until after you've done that. Mine posted before we had even picked a name. I was still actively bleeding out from a PP hemorrhage. My dad did that with our first. She wasn't even the first grandkid. He's still salty and passive-aggressive about how I got upset. It's been almost 6 years. OMG, this. So important. I would be asking husband to control his mother. Turn off your phones or put them on airplane mode. Enjoy the moment and let MIL wait. Nope, you're not being over-emotional. That was absolutely inappropriate. It's not any different than her asking how your colonoscopy is going then putting that in the GC. You're not being overly emotional, you're getting induced, you're going into labor, your husband needs to be focused on you and baby, not updating his mother. Turn off the phones, ignore her, and don't let anyone know baby's here until you're all settled. Best wishes for a safe and smooth delivery. And yeah, I'd be pissed as well if you wanted the entire family to know just how dilated your cervix is. Your husband would be updating them directly. I'd make sure she is the last person to know when baby is born. Probably after you're home and have told everyone else. Make her find out at the same time you announce it. Don't tell her anything else. I wouldn't respond at all. She can wait. I'd also let the hospital know that you'd like your info private and no visitors. If you post your birth announcement on social media, make it so that it can't be shared. Before you post it publicly, your husband need to send her a message or call her and be very, very firm. Mom, we are extremely disappointed that you chose to share Opie's very private medical info with our entire family without our direct permission. As a result, we don't trust you with specific details. Going forward, do not post or share anything with anyone without our approval. This includes our birth announcement and any photos that we send you or that you take. MIL always getting involved. Mother-in-law always getting involved. My husband and me, we have been married for 5 years now, and every time we plan to do something or buy something, she needs to get involved and control the entire situation. For example, yesterday my husband bought a family car for us because we needed one. We have 2 kids. My mother-in-law flipped and got angry that my husband has to give the car to his brother, who is not married yet. His brother works from home and does not travel as much as we do. My brother-in-law picked me up with the new car yesterday saying, "Oh wow, your car is really nice, blah blah." When we came to my mother-in-law's, they all went away. When he came back, it was suddenly his car. I was so confused and upset. How you can be so selfish? I'm so upset why the mother is so controlling and everything has to go her way. I really don't see them the same anymore. This is the second time that it is happening and I'm upset at my husband for him allowing this behavior. Edit. It is not her money. 1. My husband paid the car first. 2. My brother-in-law, when he took over, gave the money to my husband. 3. I'm confused. I too am confused. Your husband purchased a car for your family, presumably with money that belongs to both of you. MIL decided that BIL should have the car that your husband purchased for your family instead. DH said, "Oh, okay, and now BIL has new car and you do not?" Looks like the issue is not MIL. Do you live with her? I would have stopped telling her about plans long ago, until they're a done deal. But first, a WTH chat with DH is required. DH is the real issue here. Give the money back and get the car FFS. Your husband has no spine. What is your husband thinking? Why does his mom make the decisions for your household? Did the paperwork for the car ownership happen without your knowledge or input? I'm confused too. I'm sorry, but I can't make heads or tails of the post. Uneasy face. So, your husband bought a new family car, your MIL said he should give it to his brother, your BIL gave your husband the money for the car, and it's now your BIL's car? Why wouldn't your BIL just go buy the same sort of car himself then? I'm not following. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, and that's why I'm so confused. Oswell, straight face, it's always when we want to buy stuff they want to take it from us. The brother-in-law could have looked for other cars online, Oswell, but no, it is only when we want that car. So now you have to pay tax on a car you owned for a short time? Then go out and buy another one so you can pay taxes twice, just to get one car? Wait, did he just give your new family car to his brother? If so, your MIL is a problem, but not the problem. Your spouse is a jellyfish and needs therapy to grow a backbone stat. Ha ha ha, yes, because he is scared of his mom. Your husband needs to grow a backbone. You have a serious MIL problem, and serious so problem. So needs to grow a spine. That would be the day I would let my MIL take a care we paid for and give it to my BIL. Create as much space as possible. She doesn't need to know the ins ABD outs of your life. Your Ortner needs to stop putting his mothets wants above the needs of his family, kids and you. That's so true. Leave. If your husband allows MIL to dictate what car you're allowed to have, then your husband is worthless. He can't stand up to his mom, he will never stand up for you to her either. He has no reason to change if you always go along with whatever MIL wants. What are your kids learning from all of this? Do them a favor and divorce your MIL. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.